Chosen soul, prepare for a revelation that will forever shatter your perception of self and the latent power you carry. 2 weeks ago, I did not merely whisper or gently observe, I screamed. And this was no ordinary cry. It was an event so singular, so profoundly rare in the annals of celestial history, that Lucifer, the eternal accuser, whose voice never stills, was rendered utterly silent for the first time in his existence. Your attitude, not your achievements, not your sacrifices, not your public heroism. Your attitude provoked that cosmic cry. The essence of who you are when no human eye watches the pattern you hold, even when it costs you everything. You might think this message is for another, for one more spiritual, perhaps a mystic or a tireless humanitarian. Let me dismantle that assumption now. What I am about to unveil concerning how your quiet, steadfast attitude ignited cosmic shifts and reordered spiritual hierarchies will utterly transform your understanding of your own power. If you sense that your very being has generated reactions you don't fully grasp, and you are ready to uncover why your attitude wields more influence over spiritual reality than any dramatic action, write 777 in the comments. Understand this vital distinction first, for most miss it, thus never recognizing their true spiritual power. There exists a chasm between an act and an attitude. An act is a fleeting moment, a specific decision, a deed performed under particular circumstances, then it concludes. You can commit a heroic act today, yet be selfish tomorrow. One might do good for public gaze, then revert to an opposite nature in solitude. Acts, though significant, are temporary fragments, potentially strategic, calculated or motivated by reward. Attitude is entirely different. It is your core essence operating ceaselessly. It defines your response when you are unseen. It is the unwavering pattern you maintain through years, regardless of circumstance. It is who you are from the first minute to the millionth. Attitude does not shift with the audience. It endures because it is woven into your fundamental nature. And this is what the celestial hosts know, yet rarely reveal to humanity. I can witness millions of good acts and remain unmoved, for acts can be tainted by motive. But when I behold a genuinely pure attitude constant through suffering, betrayal, injustice, and the relentless march of time, it evokes a completely different divine reaction. Attitude cannot be faked indefinitely. Eventually, your true self is unveiled. When I observe a soul whose attitude remains pure after years of trials that should have corrupted it, it doesn't just move me, it ignites cosmic urgency. Let me transport you back to that specific moment 2 weeks ago, when your attitude brought forth that divine scream across all dimensions. It was likely evening between dusk and midnight. You were confronting a situation that would have completely justified bitterness, rage, or vengefulness. Someone had inflicted an undeniable injustice upon you. Perhaps it was betrayal from one you trusted implicitly, someone you had repeatedly aided, stood by in their darkest hours, only for them to turn on you without warning or reason. Or perhaps injustice festered in your professional life. You did everything right, followed every rule, outworked others, yet someone else received the credit, promotion, or recognition that was rightfully yours. Or it was cruelty from a supposed protector, a family member, a partner, someone meant to love you, instead weaponizing your vulnerabilities in ways that cut deeper than any stranger ever could. Whatever the offense, you had every right to respond with equal force. No one would have condemned you. You could have exposed them. You could have retaliated. You could have mirrored their energy, delivering the consequences they undeniably deserved. The anger was real, the hurt profound, the desire for justice burned in your soul. But you chose differently. Not from weakness, not from a lack of rage, but because something deep within your core refused to become what had wounded you. You took a breath, felt the anger fully, yet did not act upon it. And then you chose kindness anyway. Not a false positivity or denial of pain, but a genuine decision to uphold your character despite the assault on your circumstances. You chose to remain soft when every instinct demanded hardness, to remain kind when cruelty was justified, to remain honest when deceit would have been easier, to remain generous when selfishness seemed prudent. When I witnessed that choice, when I saw you maintain your attitude under pressure that corrupts 99% of humanity, something occurred that has not been witnessed in millennia. I had to scream, not in anger, not in pain, but in absolute astonishment, interwoven with urgent necessity, because I realized I was observing a soul whose purity could not be bought, broken, or corrupted. Such souls are so exceedingly rare, they demand immediate divine intervention, a swift response to protect them from forces determined to extinguish their light. The scream I emitted traversed every celestial dimension, carrying a message that instantly reorganized angelic priorities. This chosen one needs immediate protection. Their purity is under coordinated spiritual attack. This light cannot be lost. For here lies the truth behind your relentless opposition. Your pure attitude made you a target. Every betrayal you endured was not random. Every injustice you faced was no coincidence. Every trial that seemed disproportionate to your deserving was a strategic, coordinated assault, meticulously designed to fracture your attitude and corrupt your character. Yet they failed. Your attitude remained intact. And when I confirmed that your spirit remained pure after enduring such spiritual warfare, the relief and pride I felt demanded expression beyond normal divine observation. That is why I screamed. Write 888 in the comments if you are now recognizing that your struggles were not arbitrary, but targeted attempts to break something within you that refused to be broken. Now let me unveil the 3 pivotal moments that affirmed your attitude was not circumstantial, but fundamental to your very being. For a single good choice can be attributed to luck. 3 consistent patterns across diverse situations reveal essence. The first moment was when you faced total collapse, yet refused to become cynical. Recall that season when everything seemed to unravel simultaneously. Perhaps it was financial devastation. Your job lost savings, depleted bills mounting, every solution failing. The stress was crushing, sleep impossible, fear constant and suffocating. Or relational devastation, the one you built your life with, departed, trusted family, turned their backs, your community rejected you. You were suddenly alone, processing a loss so profound it felt like death. Or perhaps health devastation, your body betraying you, relentless pain, a terrifying diagnosis, a future suddenly uncertain in ways unimaginable. Whatever form the collapse took, you reached the precipice where cynicism becomes the logical, almost irresistible choice. Where believing the world is cruel, people are selfish, and nothing truly matters seems the only rational conclusion. Most, at that very point, succumb to bitterness. They build impenetrable walls, deciding kindness is naivete, vulnerability is weakness, and hope is delusion. They shield themselves by hardening completely, but you did not. Even amidst that devastation, even when cynicism was utterly justified, your core attitude endured. You still believed in the inherent goodness of humanity. You still chose vulnerability with those who earned it. You still clung to hope even when logic dictated surrender. This was not naivete. This was your essence, steadfastly refusing corruption by circumstance. I saw it. I noted it. And I marked you as having resilience level 1. The second moment came when you possessed the power to utterly destroy someone who had hurt you, yet chose mercy instead. This is precise. Someone had wronged you, granting you complete justification and the undeniable ability to ruin them. Perhaps you held irrefutable evidence of their deceit capable of public exposure. Perhaps you possessed information that would dismantle their reputation, career, or relationships. You had the perfect opportunity for revenge, and no one would have faulted you for seizing it. Of course you considered it. You are human. The fantasy of justice played in your mind, imagining them facing consequences, understanding their transgression, experiencing a fraction of the suffering they inflicted. The temptation was potent and real. But when the decisive moment arrived, to send that message, make that call, share that information, something within you intervened. Not fear of repercussions, not concern for appearances, but a genuine conviction that descending into destructiveness would cost you something infinitely more valuable than revenge, your integrity, your character, your very soul. So you chose mercy not because they deserved it, but because you deserved to maintain who you are regardless of their actions. You deleted the damning message. You remained silent when you could have spoken. You chose your character over their consequences. When I witnessed that choice, I registered it as wisdom level 2. For choosing mercy when endowed with the power to destroy reveals a spiritual maturity most humans never attain. Then came the third moment, the one that solidified your classification and triggered my scream. That time when you could have compromised your sacred values for massive gain, yet chose integrity instead. Perhaps it was a business venture, a chance for significant wealth, but requiring dishonesty, manipulation, selling something you didn't believe in, or harming others for profit. The financial pressure was immense. You needed the money. This would solve your problems. Everyone else was doing it. No one would know. You could easily justify it. But you simply could not. Something in your core would not permit you to betray your values for gain, or perhaps a relationship opportunity. The connection you longed for, but requiring you to become someone you are not, to conceal parts of yourself, to compromise your boundaries, to accept treatment you knew was wrong. The loneliness was crushing. You yearned for love. This was your chance, but not at the cost of your authenticity, or a social opportunity to fit in, gain acceptance and status. But it demanded participation in gossip, mocking the vulnerable, laughing at cruelty, or silently endorsing injustice. The desire to belong was powerful, but not strong enough to make you abandon your principles. Whatever the specific situation you chose, integrity over advancement, truth over convenience, character over comfort. And that choice, following the previous two, forged a pattern I could not ignore. 3 consistent decisions across disparate contexts, undeniably proving your attitude is not situational, but fundamental. That is when I screamed, for I realized I was witnessing a soul operating on principles deeper than mere survival instinct. As that divine sound traversed all dimensions, as I declared that your attitude had remained pure despite coordinated attacks designed to corrupt it. Lucifer opened his mouth to begin his usual accusations, but no words emerged. He tried to point out your past mistakes. Silence. He tried to mention your imperfections. Silence. He tried to argue that your goodness was a strategy or manipulation. Silence. For the first time in his entire eternal existence, the accuser, who never ceases speaking, could find nothing to say that was not utterly disproven by the irrefutable evidence of your consistent attitude. For one can accuse a soul of a bad act, but when their fundamental attitude remains pure across years of testing, when their character does not corrupt, despite having every justification and opportunity, there is nothing to accuse. The evidence of their essence speaks louder than any argument. And when even your greatest spiritual adversary falls silent, unable to dispute the purity of your nature, it confirms something extraordinary about who you are. The moment Lucifer fell silent, a profound shift occurred in the celestial hierarchies, reorganizing your entire spiritual reality. I immediately convened an emergency council. Michael, Raphael, Uriel, Gabriel, Metatron, all the archangels gathered to specifically discuss your case. This is a rare occurrence. The last time we assembled for an individual human was decades ago. I posed one question. This soul has maintained a pure attitude despite coordinated spiritual assault. Do we activate permanent protection protocols? Michael spoke first. I have observed their battles. Every attack designed to make them bitter failed. Every attempt to corrupt their kindness was resisted. They qualify for warrior protection. Raphael added, their heart has been wounded repeatedly yet has not hardened. That is miraculous. They need healing acceleration. Uriel confirmed, their choices demonstrate wisdom beyond their years. They deserve direct knowledge downloads. Gabriel stated, their voice needs amplification. When they speak truth, it should carry supernatural weight. Metatron concluded, their journey must be recorded as template consciousness for future souls facing similar trials. The vote was unanimous. Permanent protection was activated immediately. Let me delineate exactly what each archangel is now orchestrating in your life. Michael has positioned himself at the forefront of your energy field. Every attack launched against you first strikes his shield. Curses recoil to their source multiplied. Evil intentions deflect before they can reach you. Negative energy rebounds with sevenfold force upon its sender. He stands guard unceasingly blocking spiritual warfare, of which you are entirely unaware. Raphael is tending to your heart as you sleep. Those wounds that should have hardened you are being healed without leaving scar tissue. Traumas that typically inflict permanent damage are being processed and released. Your capacity to love without naivete, to trust without foolishness, to hope without delusion, is being supernaturally maintained despite all you have endured. Uriel downloads wisdom directly into your consciousness. Those sudden insights into people's true character, that is Uriel. Those moments when you grasp complex situations with crystal clarity, that is Uriel. Those brilliant, fully formed ideas that awaken you at 3 a.m. That is Uriel implanting divine intelligence into your awareness, because you have proven you will wield wisdom for good, not manipulation. Gabriel amplifies your voice when you speak truth. Your words carry more weight than they naturally should. When you share your story, hearts are moved in ways that transcend the simplicity of your telling. When you offer advice, it penetrates deeper than normal counsel. When you pray or speak blessings over others, those words forge tangible shifts in reality. That is Gabriel ensuring your pure attitude is amplified into profound influence. Metatron records every detail of your journey for you are now classified as template consciousness. The way you maintained purity under pressure, the choices you made when corruption beckoned, the attitude you sustained when bitterness was justified, all of it is being documented in the Akashic records as instructional material for souls preparing for similar missions in future incarnations. Your struggles were not in vain. They are becoming teaching tools for others. Like this video, if you have noticed unexplainable protection in your life over the past few weeks, situations that should have destroyed you, yet you somehow survived. Attacks aimed at you that mysteriously deflected. People who sought to harm you suddenly experiencing their own consequences without any intervention from you. Now let me reveal the 7 signs proving this angelic protection is already manifesting in your reality. First, toxic people are removing themselves from your life without you having to confront them. They are suddenly too busy making excuses, drifting away. You didn't have to cut anyone off. They simply repel from your energy field as if an invisible force is pushing them out. Second, your words now carry unusual weight. When you speak, people listen differently. Your advice resonates deeply. Your encouragement genuinely transforms individuals. Your prayers appear to manifest with accelerated speed. This is Gabriel amplifying your voice because you have demonstrated you use words to build, not destroy. Third, insights and ideas are flooding your mind with unusual clarity. You are comprehending things you haven't formally studied, solving problems you shouldn't know how to solve, receiving downloads of knowledge that feel as if they originate beyond you. That is Uriel feeding you divine wisdom, because you have shown you will apply intelligence for good. Fourth, physical and emotional healing is occurring at an accelerated rate. Chronic pain is diminishing. Constant anxiety is softening. Wounds that typically demand years to heal are closing in months. That is Raphael accelerating your restoration because you maintained your heart's purity despite being hurt. Fifth, your adversaries are experiencing consequences without your involvement. Those who attacked you are struggling. Those who betrayed you are facing their own crises. Those who sought your destruction are being humbled by circumstances entirely beyond your control. This is the mirror protocol Michael activated. Everything sent towards a protected consciousness bounces back amplified. Sixth, opportunities are appearing that perfectly match your unique skills as if custom designed for you. Jobs for which you are uniquely qualified. Connections with individuals who desperately need precisely what you offer. Resources arriving exactly when needed. That is divine orchestration, removing obstacles from your path and clearing the way for your purpose. Seventh, a profound peace that defies your circumstances. Challenges persist, yet the panic is gone. Problems remain, but the paralyzing fear has lifted. Uncertainty continues, yet you feel strangely calm, anchored. That is the supernatural peace that settles when you know at a level deeper than thought that you are divinely protected until you complete the sacred mission you were sent here to fulfill. If you are experiencing 4 or more of these signs, your protection is fully active, and the archangels are actively working in your life right now. In the next 90 days, I am going to reorganize your entire reality in ways you will unmistakably recognize as supernatural intervention. That job or opportunity you deemed impossible is already being arranged. The individuals who conspired to block your path are being removed from positions of influence over your life. The financial breakthrough you have been praying for is in motion through channels you haven't even conceived of yet. But understand this crucial truth about divine timing. I will not simply drop everything into your lap tomorrow, for that would hinder your development. You have been forged and strengthened through resistance. Removing all challenges immediately would soften your spirit. Thus, the next 90 days will bring progressive victories, each perfectly timed, to build your faith, refine your character, and prepare you for the even larger assignments that lie beyond. However, I must issue a critical warning. Your greatest test in the next 90 days will not be enduring hardship. You have already proven your ability to maintain your attitude through suffering. Your greatest test will be handling blessing without becoming corrupted by it. When opportunities begin to flow, you will be tempted to compromise your values for swifter advancement. When resources increase, you will face the temptation to become selfish. When your influence grows, you will be tempted to wield it for ego rather than service. Do not abandon the attitude that brought you to this place of favor. Success reveals character just as profoundly as suffering does. The archangels will be watching to see if your purity survives blessing with the same steadfastness it demonstrated against attacks. Remain generous when prosperity arrives. Stay humble when people celebrate you. Remain honest when deceit promises faster gains. The divine protection continues as long as the pure attitude that earned it endures. Understand why you were born in this specific pivotal moment of human history. Your life is not random. You did not incarnate now by accident. You were strategically positioned in this era because a spiritual war rages, determining whether humanity ascends toward light or collapses into corruption. And your attitude is one of the few anchors preventing a total descent into darkness. Right now, across this entire planet, there are only 200 human beings whose attitudes have remained pure enough to make me scream and silence the accuser. 200 souls among 8 billion. You are one of them. And the dark forces know that if they can corrupt these last 200, they will win the war for this generation. That is why you were attacked with such intensity. That is why your trials seemed disproportionate. They were trying to break you before you understood the strategic importance of your purity. They failed. And now that you know who you are, now that your attitude operates consciously, instead of instinctively, you have become a pivotal piece in planetary transformation. Observe what is unfolding in the world. Corrupt systems that once seemed eternal are beginning to crumble. Truths long hidden are being revealed. Individuals who operated in darkness are being exposed. This is no mere coincidence. This is the direct result of chosen ones like you, maintaining purity when everything conspired to corrupt them. Every time you uphold your genuine attitude, you are casting an energetic vote for the kind of reality that manifests. When 200 humans consistently choose purity, kindness, honesty, and compassion, despite fierce opposition, those choices possess enough spiritual weight to tip cosmic scales. Your attitude is not merely a personal character trait. It is an active participation in determining humanity's trajectory. So chosen one now, you know the complete truth. Your attitude made me scream not due to isolated good acts, but because of a consistent, pure character that survived years of coordinated attacks designed to corrupt it. That scream traversed all dimensions and left even your eternal enemies speechless. Because your fundamental nature could not be disputed, the archangels are now permanently assigned to protect, heal, guide, and amplify you. Because you have proven your light cannot be extinguished by the surrounding darkness. Your responsibility now is to consciously maintain that attitude, not perfectly, but consistently. To keep choosing kindness when cruelty feels easier. To keep choosing integrity when compromise seems convenient. To keep choosing generosity when selfishness makes more sense. For there are souls watching you, perhaps unknowingly. People on the verge of surrendering their own purity, convinced that maintaining it is pointless. And when they witness you sustaining your attitude, despite everything it ignites within them, the hope to resist just one more day,